G'day guys. Hey, so basically just a big update for this one. I've actually got quite a bit done since the last video and have been recording along the way, and then have gone ahead and done something else, and then recorded more, and then got done some more and all that sort of thing. So long story short, I'm just going to update you on this one and catch up, because it's getting pretty tricky to sort of edit and post and blah 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 at this stage, while I'm so flat out trying to get it done. Time's ticking. 14th of October today, and it's meant to be on the track on the 26th of November, so pretty much 6 weeks, and we've still got to get a lot done. So big update though. Got a little bit excited at this last package that turned up, and opened it before I actually thought about videoing it. So thanks to Bronwyn at the Cartoon Company, so quickly ordered it yesterday, it's turned up today. This is my first ever brand new ECU, believe it or not. And wicked. So amped. The Link G4 Monsoon. Link G4X Monsoon. All the amazingness, so tightly packaged. That's out the gate. How small that is, man. That's cool. Nice little bracket, data cable, don't have to buy it separately, some stickers, and obviously some other paperwork and bits and pieces. So yeah, chuffed, absolutely chuffed. Like I say, Bronwyn at the Cartoon Company sussed this out so quickly. It was epic. I was at one stage going to go to a Haltech. Couple of reasons why I didn't. One was, and they were really good to deal with. James, I think his name is off the top of my head, sorry. He was really good to deal with. But lots of the guys in the class that I'm running in, as well as the Greens boys, are right up to play with the Lynx, so they're always going to be at the track when I'm there. If I have any issues and stuff, they can easily jump on and use it. Also a little bit cheaper than the Haltech, and I don't need what the Haltech has to offer. So yeah, I sort of just changed my mind last minute and just decided to pull the trigger on the Link. But yeah, so far so good. And also Kiwi company, that was one of the big parts as well. Kiwi owned, and wherever I can, I like to support the Kiwis. So yeah, so that's all turned up. Also some more fittings from automotivefittings.co.nz. Never used them until this, and this was nice and quick too. Only took a couple of days to arrive. Everything seemed like it was in stock, obviously. So yeah, check those guys out. Some cool stuff on there. And obviously, really quick shipping. So yeah. That being said, also one of the lads just whipped up a stainless pipe with some rings to support the radiator hose. Bottom hose, because it changed the size. So yeah, apart from that, getting there now. So all the front brakes, front end etc, etc is all in. All the brake lines are all finished. Reservoirs and brake lines are all done. Injection perfection, sorted out some replacement fuel rails, injectors, clamps, throttle cable bracket, progressional throttle cable, holdery mounty thingy, new trumpets, and that was by far the easiest, best thing that I've done for a long time, to be really honest. All the shit that we mucked around with previously on the previous iteration of the old airbox, the old trumpets, we had to turn stuff up and it was just a fucking nightmare. I don't know why I never even thought about just going straight to injection perfection and replacing them. Literally have no excuse. So anyway, that's come up really good. I'm chuffed with how it looks. It's all bolted on. Exhaust is on and complete. The upper and lower radiator hoses are all sorted with nice new decent hose clamps, new coolant temp sensor in there. As you'll see, the loom, majority of the loom is there or thereabouts, ready to come back out to get terminated. Sorry, not terminated. To go back to Brent to make it all nice and tidy and pretty. And he, I'm sure, will do a very good job. Got the new coils and mounted them. Can't remember if I had all the oil lines and stuff on last time. This is pretty cool. Just new technology for you, which is making life easy. So that is a oil pressure and oil temp sensor all in one, which is really cool. Makes a hell of a lot of sense. Yeah, at the end of the day, that one sensor, one plug, one bit of wiring in one place is really, really easy. So that's really cool. Chuffed with that. Also have moved the oil catch can up top here and made up all the lines and stuff for it. Replaced the oil filter and have changed my plan with this side of things, so the radiator overflow is down here. This is going to be the pressure cap rather than this one, so this is just a filler, so we can fill at the highest point, but the pressure relief will be here, so it's nice and short straight into the overflow. All that wiring and all that sort of, and those brake lines and clutch bleed lines and all that sort of stuff going to be a bit tidier, well, much tidier hopefully. Once the loom is all bundled up nicely, so I can actually finalize it and run it exactly where I want it to be, and bolt it all up and call it a day. Brake lines, yeah, front side, brake lines over there, all the brake lines up the top and down to the back to the split. Have mounted the ECU and fuse box. That is pretty much just loosely finished off, ready for Brent to tidy up the loom and finish that end, which is pretty cool. Got a couple of bits and pieces to do, so gonna run these through the bulkhead for the power to the starter. So that's nice and tidy, got all those fittings. Once the loom's done, then I will put the dash back in, which, you know, for all of you guys with roll cages, already in your cars, it's obviously too late. For those of you that are building cars, do the roll cage last, or at least the door bars last. Do them last. They are a shit fight. They are a pain in the ass. Do them last. Anyway, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. Wish I didn't clearly. Another cool little addition is going to run the tank lid. I don't know where the top is. the tank lid, going to run the tank lid in here. So I've just got a bit of die grinding and stuff to do behind that, and then we'll weld this laser cut ring in behind so we can bolt this head to it, and then run an angle. I'll run a 90 or a 45 off here, and then onto a rubber hose and into the side of the tank. That rubber hose there, hopefully all going to plan. If not, that same stuff but different size. Have had a big change in the arse end. Was making up the bulkhead to sit in here. That decided to be much harder than I thought it would be. Then I decided to maybe look at filling the back end so we can have all the surge tank and stuff visible up here. And then basically looked at myself in the mirror and went, what are you doing? Stop being a dick. And we're just going to replace this panel, this top panel here, which is over there. Make a new one since it's got a million gazillion holes in it from all the different stuff that we've done. Yeah, new panel in here. I got a smaller surge tank, and am just currently running those lines. So pretty much the Holly fuel pump I stripped down and inspected and tested and stuff the other day. That is toast. Not surprised, it's been sitting around for 10 years, it needs to go in the bin. So I have ordered a new Carter pump from Green Brothers, so that should be here Monday, Tuesday, all going to plan. And then I will hopefully mount that, chuck the tank back in. All the hard lines are done, they're all built, they're there. I'll just need to they go up to the bulkhead fittings that were in the we're going through the boot lid panel, the boot floor panel. So I will cut them and reflare them anyway, because it's a bit nasty, that one. But I will put an extra bend so it stays up nice and high here, and then run them one out of the pump, and that's a return back from the engine into the surge. Not sure if I'm going to put it in the top or on the side. Just going to wait until the tank goes in, see if I've got room to go back in the side. I don't really want to put it back in the bottom, just because it might, well, maybe it could go back in the bottom. Just trying to minimize all the aeration. It's going to be worst in the top, I would assume. But yeah, we'll see how we go. See what works, see what doesn't. But then all that'll be nicely hidden away. Oh yeah, look at that bad boy. I'm gonna leave it there as long as I can. Yeah, so exhaust is done. There's the fuel tank. I'm gonna fill that, cover it, run a rollover and a breather there, and then that's gonna be the return from the surge tank. Have also got all the rear suspension in, sway bar and brakes on, new rubber brake hoses. All that's all done. Apart from, I need to swap the top arms from side to side because I put them in the wrong side. Not gonna lie. When we were chucking this thing back together, literally it was all just hand tight and loose. Previously it's all bolted up now, but classic that I figured it out later on, that I was under the car, I think doing the surge tank the other day, and under the bottom of the arm on the left hand side is a bit of masking tape with right on it, so that's on the left hand side. So I did some googling, and yeah, they're on the wrong side. Simple as that. But never mind. Live and learn. Over here we have the CAN high-low wiring, the pit limiter, and launch control. And check engine light, which I'll probably just have a separate check engine light. Maybe, haven't quite decided yet, but it's all there anyway. And then alternator light wiring. Brake light switch, this is the factory one that actually came in the car, and we're just wondering, I was wondering if it was normally open, normally closed, and all that sort of stuff, so I sussed all that out. Now we've just got to somehow make up a bracket for it. The other option is to run a pressure switch, brake pressure switch, I think they're called, a brake light pressure switch, or whatever they're called. So that could be an option. I am aware that it is another failure point. So yeah, I don't know how they work. I've not really looked into them a huge amount, but I'm probably going to get closer and closer to doing something like that, just for the simplicity of it. So let me know how you go. Let me know if you've had any bad stories, and we can go from there. The other thing I've got to run, or I've got to now refit, is the fuel pressure reg. Used to be pretty much where this is, so gonna have to change that where that was mounted. Probably just have it a bit lower under there or something, because the hard lines come up to sort of pretty much where that riv nut is, along there somewhere. So yeah, but that's pretty much the big update. I mean, it's taken a hell of a long time, pretty much since King of Rotaries really, to sort of get to this, but we're starting to tick boxes big time now. The wiring, hopefully this week, will be ready to go back to Brent to tidy up and finish off the loom into the relay and fuse box, which is all nice and tidy and all that sort of thing. He can do his business and give it back, and then I can wrap it all up in pretty stuff and basically run it for the final time. Once I've run it for the final time and finish the fuel lines, waiting for a couple of fittings to go on here. Need some 180s and stuff that I've ordered, and some ORB to Dash 8 AN fittings, so they're all nicely sealed up and all that sort of thing. Apart from that, she's getting close to firing up. So the other thing that turned up was a big box of goodies from Motul. So Motul radiator additive, 1550 300V race oil, brake fluid, high temp stuff, 594 Fahrenheit and 312 dry boiling point, and 205 wet boiling point. No idea what the difference is. Seems pretty wet being a fluid, and obviously some premix. Yay! So I've got 12 litres of oil. From memory, the old pig holds 10 litres, but being absolutely dry and completely empty and completely cleaned out, and all the lines are empty and the filter's empty and the whole engine's empty and all that stuff, I was like, you know what, if I get 10, it'll need 10 and a half. So I thought I'd just grab 12, and then we've got a bit to top up. I wouldn't mind running a little bit more than what we did in the past as well, probably like another half a litre. And then that way it's got a bit more on the sump. It did surge a little bit previously. It flickered down at like 30. I think the old oil pressure switch I had on it was 30 psi, and it fluttered every now and then. The light fluttered every now and then. Only generally on a warm-up lap when you're going slow and no revs and all that sort of thing. But like I say, I just want to have a little bit more there, so I can just, if it does create an issue and I'm at the track, then I can chuck an extra 500 ml in it, hope it doesn't blow it out, and try and sort of get that right. So yeah, pretty much it. There's the dead holly. Oh, and there's the fuel filler cap. So I'm looking forward to having this in here. It's going to be nice and tidy. Cool. In the factory spot, outside of the car. So the rules, I'm pretty sure, say that you've got to fill from outside the car. And by doing this as well, we don't have to muck around with, like I say, the bulkhead stuff. The bulkhead stuff, if we had to run any fuel hose through the cabin and all that sort of thing, then you had to then cover over the fuel hose and fittings and blah blah blah. So this is just by far the easiest way I can see. I'm sure there's plenty of other options. There's lots of, every car's different. I mean, I looked at all 5 or 6 baddies that were at the King of Rotaries, and they all did it differently. So this is how I think it's the best way of doing it. It may not be, but we'll soon find out. I think there might be some issue with the this chassis rail here, getting the hose out of the fitting and into the side of the tank high enough with enough fall in it to to not create a slosh back up the pipe. But being a race car, I was thinking we can just basically cut the fucking thing out and pretty much flip it and have a C-notch type situation in that rail if we need to. I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, those rails are pretty much just holding the surge tank and the tail lights, so, and the exhaust. Apart from that, we really don't need them. They're just crash structure that hopefully is never going to be used. Fingers crossed. But yeah, all of that. Oh, did I talk about I did talk about the surge tank. Really quite chuffed with how that's come up. It's nice and tidy, nice and small. Yeah, quite happy with it. Just got to figure out exactly how to seal all the bits and pieces, and all those sorts of things. So there's lots still to go. Lots of fine tuning stuff. But yeah, getting there now. But yeah, as always, thank you very much for coming along and watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it better be in the 2 or 3 weeks, because it's going to be 6 weeks to driving it. She's getting pushed. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, she'll be going. Next weekend, I'm my wife and I are off to Aussie for a week for a holiday, which is really good actually. I'm really looking forward to that. So we're starting to run out of time, but at the end of the day, there's lots of race meetings I can go to. There's lots of race meetings we can run at. The NZRRE guys are definitely the guys that I want to run with in the future. But whether we can't quite get to that 26th of November round, we'll be gutted. I will be gutted, but we'll see what we can do and do as much as we can. So I'll be chuffed if it's fired up and running and tuned, or near tuned, or just running before then, because ultimately then there's only really minor stuff to do for the next one. So yeah, fingers crossed it all falls into place anyway. But and a week off is well needed for us. It's been a long time since we've had a break, and we've had a really tough year so far in the Hawke's Bay with cyclones and pretty serious damage around the joint. It's been pretty hectic, so need to get away, need to have a break, but amped to be this close and get this thing up and running, hopefully very soon. But yeah, thanks again guys. Like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, it really means a lot to share the channel around and chuck comments up and like it and all that sort of thing. We'll try and keep the momentum going with the growth that we're seeing. It's really cool. Yeah, thanks a lot. Cheers. Peace.